Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm the Thrifty Trooper and this is my New Year's resolution video. Now, it's not 2019 yet, so this is all subject to change, but disclaimer, I really don't like resolutions. I never stuck to them. I think the classic ones are start smoking and losing weight, and I've done both of those things. Usually in July near my birthday. So yeah, but I don't really hold much stock in them to be honest. But I thought, no, it's time to be grown up. It's time to actually stick to my guns about something and try. So yeah, to try and do a lot better in 2019 in comparison to 2018, because 2018 was a bit meh, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, it's easy to say resolutions, but I don't know. I think I might just call them goals. And that way, I can aim towards them, because resolution is very defining and very no, you will do this, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to. So yeah, I am a bit of a slacker, I'm not gonna lie. But if I write stuff down, and then I'll probably just put it somewhere and then forget about it. And if I put it on a post-it note and put it on my wall in front of my computer, then I'll just be I'll probably in a fit of rage go rip it off and put it in the bin. So if I do a YouTube video on it, then I suppose I'm putting it in your hands, because then you can hold me to account, which is a slacker thing to do. It's very lazy, but I need help in more ways than one. So basically, I'm just going to run through some of the things that I've thought of, and if you've got any ideas of to do mainly with reselling and thrifting and side hustles and all that jazz, if you've got good ideas, then please put them down in the comments. These are just the ones that I've thought of, but there are tons out there, and I need all the help I can get. Okay, so the obvious first one is be more organised in life and in reselling, and that basically means sorting out my stock and coming up with some proper SKU system, which they are quite organised. I mean, I put some of the stuff, when it comes to toys and all that, I put them in if I'm doing bundles, and I put them in bags and stuff, and if they're individual items, then I put them in boxes and I stack them up and I write on the box what's on it and everything. So I do have a kind of system, but I think I'm going to move on to my second one, because it kind of is. It's exactly the same. It's put it in a spreadsheet. So it's the first one's physically organising, and the second one is digitally organising. So get it on a spreadsheet and get it, because I have actually done spreadsheets before on Excel, and I do know how to do it, but again, slacker in me, it's just I don't want to do it. So yeah, physically and digitally organising my reselling and my life. Okay, number 3. Create a dedicated filing system for taxes and receipts and all that. Right, okay, I'm not a tax man. I've got a friend who is basically a genius, and he does it for me, but this is the proper first year that I'm actually in terms of reselling, putting it as part of my income. Oh, God's sake, look at me, I'm falling apart. By the way, it's a couple of days after Boxing Day, and I've had a few Baileys, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, my taxes, I've split them up. I split them up into, if I purchase anything from a charity shop, I keep the receipt and I put it in a box labelled receipts. And if I post anything, then I particularly with the post office, keep the receipts for that and proof of postage. But also for Hermes and stuff, I print off the email receipt that they give, and then I put that all in a file basically. And yeah, and the thing is, with my sales thing now, with all my sales coming through, I need to print off that on eBay, off of eBay as well, so it's all together, and sort them all out so they're all together. So the postage, the cost, and the item that I've sold, the receipt and invoices are all together, so each individual item has its own little pack almost, and then organise it by month. But I haven't done that because I'm lazy. So yeah, hopefully in 2019 I will actually get down to it. Oh god, this isn't good. A lot of people say like, oh, stop drinking and lose weight and stop smoking. I've done all that, but I've said on number 4 it's like stop drinking while working or drink more while working, because I was basically listing a load of stuff today and actually sorting out some stuff, and I've just had a Bailey's on the go, a little Bailey's, a little Christmas tipple, and about 3 or 4 sales came in. It was 3 sales, and they were like big sales. They weren't like, oh, £10 for like a little bundle. No, it was like £40 to £50 for each one, and I'm like, my mind is absolutely blown, because obviously it's been Christmas, and people aren't on eBay, but the week before Christmas I thought would be my busiest, and it wasn't. I had like 3 or 4 orders, and I had one on New Year's Eve. Stop drinking. I had one on Christmas Eve, and that was like £100 one, so that was a big one. But like I've had nothing like for the previous week before Christmas. So like a couple of days after Christmas, and literally I thought I'd write off everything until New Year. I'll try and get all my stuff sorted ready for New Year. And while I was doing that and having a drinky poo, I got like 4 sales and big ones as well. So that's kind of like covered me for the last couple of weeks in December, thank God. So yeah, number 4, stop drinking. Number 5, penny challenge. Oh, right. I've talked about this before. I love the idea of the penny challenge. It's a way you can save up £667, I want to get that right, before Christmas. And there is the pound challenge, but that is ridiculous in my book. It is doable if you've got a expendable income, and if you're earning over 20 grand a year, it is possible to do the pound challenge. And if you're extremely frugal, then it is possible if you earn between 15 and 20 grand. But in I think it's the last 4 weeks of the challenge, you've got to save £50, and that's usually people do it just before Christmas. Though there goes my phone. They do it just before Christmas, so they've got like a bit of a pot ready for Christmas, Christmas spending. And so, but like £200 in a month for me, I mean, that's a hell of a lot of money. That is my travel expenses, my phone, one of my other bills, and my storage fees. That's it for the month. And if I'm spending all of that and an additional £200, then it's like, ugh. So yeah, the penny challenge is a lot more accessible, and you're not paying more than £3.65 a day, because that's like the last day. And I've talked about it before. Anyway, yeah, so I've got like a graph and everything, and you can literally put in penny challenge, and it once it comes up, there's loads of examples. Skint Dad, I've talked about him before, I think. He does a brilliant little blog, and he talks about the penny challenge, and he's actually got some downloadable prints. Yeah, and it is really good. Look into it. It's what I'm doing. That's one thing I'm actually doing. Okay, number 6. Try and aim for a 1-day dispatch. Now, the difficult thing is I don't really drive, but there is like a Shell garage and a One Stop which do have Hermes collection, and the Shell garage has the pay and print one, so I can take my stuff there, and it's only like a bike ride away. But if it's like a really hefty big kind of thing, I need like lifts and stuff, which funnily kind of links to another resolution. But yeah, try and aim for 1-day dispatch. Now I usually do 2 to 3 days. I do 3 days mainly because it gives you a little leeway and it takes the pressure off. Over Christmas, I didn't shut down any like my shop or anything, or take any of my items off. What I did was I did a 10-day dispatch. So people were like buying stuff, and now I've got until like the 1st or 3rd of January, I think it is 3rd of January, to post them, which is great for me. But up until Christmas, which is weird because I hardly got any sales like the last week, but I had a 1-day dispatch, and I did a lot of free shipping as well, which is just weird. I got nothing, and then I've switched it all back, and I've started getting sales again, which is weird. And I don't know if it's just the time of year, but like everyone always says like, oh, eBay prefer if you do this, and then it never works for me. And yet when I go back to the thing that I want to do, it it works. Click, ka-ching ka-ching all day. So yeah, it's weird. But I want to try and aim for a 1-day dispatch. That's one that I don't particularly like, but I will give it a go. Okay, number 7, cross-sell over more platforms. Facebook Marketplace, already do that. Gumtree, I buy more of Gumtree than, anything. Vinted, that's a one I've signed up to, and I put a few bits on there, and I've had a lot of interest on certain stuff, but no like buyers or anything. Spark, I buy more stuff on there really. Virage Sale, I haven't used that app, but it is, you can use it over here, but it's more of an American thing. Bebop, not Bebop, it's what's Bebop? Bebop is Bebop Cowboy or Cowboy Bebop. That's a manga, isn't it, or an anime? I mean Debop. Debop, but yeah, stop drinking while recording. New resolution. Debop, that's like a clothes one. And is it Makami or Makari? They're actually stopping in January 2019. All their UK services are shutting down, so I don't know if that's actually shutting down and they're just staying to American sites. I'm not sure. But yeah, cross-platform, but the trouble is with that, like I get weird sales on like Spark, like every other month I get like someone who's like immediate, like yeah, I'll have it for that price, boom, and pays. And so I send it off, and they really do. There was one guy who really saved my bacon once because I had like no money and I had like a few things to post, and he bought a big bundle of items, and it was like 40 quid. So I used that money to pay for all the postage, and it got me back on a roll basically. And yeah, that was on Spark. And Facebook Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace can either work really well, or about 90% of the time it's a lot of time wasters, and it's really annoying. It's all like, is it still available? And you say yeah, and then you said, oh, is it with postage? And you say yeah, and then you don't hear from them for like 2 weeks, and then you sell it on eBay, and then you get another notification, is it still available? It's like, no, sorry, you're too late. So yeah, but it's still worth it. Okay, number 8, it's cashback and receipt app sites, and I'm already doing an entire video that's coming out on Sunday, and that's on my cashback and receipt app, kind of, how much I've had them before, like Quidco, Top Cashback, and ClickSnap, and all these other ones, Shopix, Receipt Hog, and everything. And I'll talk about it in my next video. Okay, number 9, survey sites. This is one, right? My friend, his name's Dave. His name's Dave, but we don't call him Dave. We call him Killer, which is not a nice nickname, but we never call him Dave. But he swears by survey sites, and I'm like, yeah, maybe. And a lot of these other sites like Oh My Dosh and Hit My Postcode and other like various like sites that offer you like a ridiculous amount of money cashback, they offer like survey sites. What's it called? Swagbook. Basically, these survey sites, they're pennies. And YouGov's one, but it's like, yeah, who wants YouGov? They offer pennies and they're ridiculous. And you've got like a 3-tier one, and my friend Dave, he says try and log on to Prolific, and I logged on to Prolific and I managed to get in, and I'm a part of their like pool of people who they ask, and already after like 2 weeks I've made £18. Now yeah, £18 is next to nothing, but when you think on that receipt app or the cashback app, it's taken me like 3 months, and in 2 weeks I've earned the same amount. If you find the right ones that offer a lot of money, who is it? Check out the money saving bloggers and the thrifting bloggers. They are out there, there's loads of them, but I heard of one woman who went on one of these sites that did like Prolific, it's mainly academic studies, and she made something like £400 in a month just from doing this one of these survey sites, which is ridiculous. It's like part-time wage. That's basically like eBay wage. But yeah, I mean, if you do, this is the thing about thrifting, it's not just one set wage where you can just like say, oh, I do all this and this one. No, it's variable, and it's like you're doing a lot of like little things throughout the day, and it all adds up over the year. And to be honest, it's probably not worth minimum wage, the amount of work that you put into it, but it's optimizing your time. I find a lot of it, and I'm not good at optimizing my time. I'm like, oh, I've got 100 things I need to like list, and I've got like 10 things I need to post. What should I do? Oh, I know. The new Netflix series has dropped, and I'll binge watch the Netflix series. So yeah, I'm not very good at prioritizing my time. Yeah, but these survey sites are meant to be quite good, and I need to look into it, and I might do a full video on some of them. Okay, number 10, match betting. Yeah, and I suppose that's 10A, and then 10B is don't gamble, because I don't gamble. I basically I barely do the lottery, to be honest. But like sometimes, every now and again, I get one of these like Virgin thing like offers through, and they say like, oh, deposit £10 and get so many money. Now I heard that's match betting, and you can, if you do it in a certain way, there's lots of other people who talk about it a lot better and more eloquently than I do. But what I sometimes do, it's usually on blackjack. I'm a fiend for blackjack, and sometimes I can win. I can put £10 in and I can win like £50, and I don't do it that often. I do it like probably once every few months. I put in like a tenner, or I do one of these offers where it's like £10 and you get like 20, you know, that kind of thing. So I do that like every like few months, and sometimes I lose it completely, but the past like 2 rounds that I've done, I've won like 50 odd quid each, and I've withdrawn them as well. As soon as I hit like £50, I'd panic, and I'm always like, oh, and I take all the money out and say, okay, thank you, bye. And they're all like, no, come, spend all your money, and I'm like, no. Okay, number 11, take YouTube seriously now. It's basically me just rambling into a microphone, and sometimes filming stuff, and you know, talking about hauls, and you know, but I do want to actually take it a bit more seriously, and you know, get a proper editing done, and not just like ramble over pictures what I'm doing now, and you know, actually do take it seriously. And I've got like various ideas, and I've written down like 50 of them, of these ideas, and I'm ticking them off. Okay, number 12, learn to drive. This is my final one, and it's basically like, I've always lived somewhere where the public transport has been really solid and really good and very frequent, and you know, I've lived within quite literally walking distance of all the town centres basically, and I've been very lucky that I've lived my life up until that point, and I've never needed to drive. I just thought it was an expense that I can't afford, and I don't particularly want to. But now, as I've moved to the country, and I'm like, it is a pain. And the bus is like, there's like one bus every hour, and apparently that's really good. It was in the paper the other day, like, bus service has increased, and I'm like, really? Are you joking? I mean, I'm from the centre of Manchester, so it's like, you know, you can literally, you're tripping over buses. I mean, that whole adage, that whole like saying like wait for ages and then 3 buses comes at once, it's like, no, wait a minute and then like 3 buses come, and it's literally that. Yeah, and I don't know, learn to drive. And I think if I learn to drive, what I can do is I can travel around, not the country, but you know, I can go further afield to car boots. And I can like rent vans and stuff, and you know, I can do a lot more than what I'm doing now. And I can go out at like, you know, 4 a.m, further afield, and then come back and hit a few car boots on the way. Whereas now I'm only doing like 2 or 3 that are in my general area. But yeah, it's an obvious one, isn't it? Learn to drive. Yeah, it was another one. I can't remember. Oh god. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's my New Year's resolutions. My other video, I've done a whole thing on receipt apps and cashback apps and sites, and that's coming out on Sunday, but I think that might be the last one. I think I've got a sales report coming either tomorrow or on New Year's Eve. I don't know. This is what I mean. I'm not organised. I've got like a checklist that I'm ticking off, but like, that's about it, to be honest. What's that song? There's that song Getting Away With It All Messed Up. That's me. So yeah, I hope you've had a great Christmas, and yeah, have a fab merry New Year. Bye.